You know, I've been doing this for 45 years. There's no category for this. This is just pure evil.
Work of the devil.
He put Shanann's body inside the cab?
And that floorboard on the floor. That's where they found all the hair.
So this is like a king cab?
That work truck.
Yeah, four-door.
So the girls were, their feet were on their mommy, but they thought she was sleeping or sick.
Yeah, well, you don't know what they thought, you know? You don't imagine?
Well, as a grandfather, I can't imagine.
Those are my grandchildren. I love them. They were mine.
What do you say to yourself about that?
There's many times that I just feel like giving up. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here.
I've talked to my wife Robin about this, and she sends her love, and she says, I absolutely know what haunts Sandy as a grandmother is hearing her daughter's voice in her head and hearing her grandchildren's voice in her head.
Dr. Phil, I felt my daughter's spirit the moment she died. Something woke me up, and I sat at the foot of, sat up, and a spear went through my forehead, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, Shanann. And I said, Holy, something happened to my daughter. I knew, I swear to God, I knew. I woke up Frankie, I woke up the whole house. I said, something's wrong with Shanann. I'm telling you, something's wrong. And
we didn't know she was missing yet, we didn't know anything.
But you knew.
She knows all the time. She's got intuition. I don't know how she knows these things.
So what did y'all think when she came to you and said this?
Oh,
I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, I was like, Mom, you're just worried. She's probably sleeping.
Nothing of it.
What did you learn about Nico at the time Shanann's life was taken?
We didn't know if it was a boy or girl yet. They had found out, but they were waiting to release it.
Thursday night they found out. Wow. And they were going to do a coming out party of being a boy, but they put that on freeze because he was being
strange, distant.
Yeah.
And so the baby was alive when her life was taken?
Yes. And Chris was saying, to protect himself, that the baby wasn't his, and then they tried to say that the baby wasn't alive. So I had to give rights of my grandson to the place to prove that the baby was alive and it was Chris's.
And so there's a medical report now that confirms that?
Absolutely.
Yes. So we know now that the baby was alive.
Yes.
And the baby was Chris's.
Yes.
So we have 3 children murdered here, not 2.
That's right.
You had a real strong connection as a grandmother to Bella and Cece,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
We know that Cece was murdered with her blanket that she loved so much.
Yes.
Do you torture yourself with wondering what they were thinking in those final
Every
moments?
second of my life.
And what do you say to yourself?
That they were screaming for their mom and us. No doubt in my mind.
I dream about it all the time.
I say to Frankie every day, I bet you she was screaming for her Nana and her Uncle Frankie and her Papa. No doubt in my mind. We lived with them for 15 months. Our daughter had lupus, so I closed up my salon and moved to Colorado to help my daughter with Cece. So I was there in a heartbeat.
You may disagree with this, and I don't mean to impose my beliefs on anyone, but I do believe in afterlife awareness. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that Shanann and Nico and Bella and Cece have access. And
What did they say to me when they came to see me?
have they?
If you believe every victim deserves to be remembered and every truth deserves to be told, subscribe to The Crime Narrator. These stories live on because you're here to hear them.
I still remember the night I couldn't sleep because a mother knows. It's not something you can explain to anyone who hasn't felt it. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your chest, and I sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone, willing it to light up. I told myself I was being dramatic, that grown daughters are allowed to drift, allowed to build lives that don't always circle back home. But my hands were shaking anyway. I kept scrolling through old messages, rereading words that now felt heavier than they ever did then. Shanann had always been strong-willed. Even as a little girl, she carried herself like she knew where she was going, even when she didn't. I admired that about her. I still do. But strength can sometimes look like distance, and distance is where fear quietly grows. Our conversations had changed. Shorter, careful, as if there were things she wanted to say but didn't know how. I asked her if she was okay more times than I can count, and every time she told me she was fine. Mothers learn early that fine rarely means fine, but we also learn when to stop pushing, or at least when we think we should. I replay those moments now like a cruel loop. Did my voice sound too worried? Did I back off too quickly? Did I mistake silence for peace? I remember telling myself she was just busy, just tired, just trying to make things work. I wanted to believe her life was exactly what she wanted it to be. But deep down, there was a knot in my stomach that never fully went away. There were nights I almost called her, just to hear her breathe on the other end of the line. Sometimes I did. Sometimes it went to voicemail. When she did answer, I tried to sound normal, light even, because I didn't want to be that mother. The one who worries too much. The one who interferes. But after we hung up, I would sit there wondering if she was truly happy or just trying to sound strong for my sake. I begged her more than once to come home. Not in a dramatic way. Not with ultimatums. Just small pleas wrapped in love. Come stay for a while. Come rest. Come let me take care of you the way I used to. She would laugh it off or gently change the subject. She didn't want to worry me. That's what she always said. And I let it go because I trusted her. Or maybe because I was afraid that pushing harder would push her further away. If you're listening to this and you already feel that tightness in your chest, I ask you to pause for just a moment. Stories like this aren't just stories. They're warnings. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing, because someone out there might hear this and make a different choice. As days passed, the messages became less frequent. I told myself not to panic. I told myself she was an adult, a mother herself, juggling more than I could see from the outside. But every unanswered call felt louder than the last. I started leaving longer voicemails, telling her I loved her, telling her I was proud of her, telling her the door was always open. I don't know if she listened to them. That not knowing is something I carry with me now. The last time I asked her to come home, my voice cracked. I tried to laugh it off, but she heard it. She always did. She told me she'd be fine. She told me everything was okay. And I wanted so badly to believe her that I let those words settle my fear, just enough to get through the night. Now, when I think back, I wonder if she was already slipping away, if she was already trapped in something she didn't know how to escape. I wonder if my begging sounded like noise instead of a lifeline. I wonder if coming home could have changed anything at all. A mother's heart doesn't forget these things. It keeps them sharp and clear, even when time tries to dull the edges. And as I sat there that night, staring at my silent phone, I whispered words she couldn't hear. Come home, baby. Please, come home. The morning everything started to feel wrong didn't arrive with sirens or shouting. Came quietly, like a bad feeling you can't shake. I woke up and reached for my phone before my feet touched the floor. No messages. No missed calls. I told myself it was nothing, that I was letting fear talk louder than reason. But fear has a way of recognizing itself. It lives in the body before it ever reaches the mind. I thought back to all the times I had asked her to come home, and how carefully I had chosen my words. I didn't want her to think I was judging her life or questioning her choices. I just wanted her safe, wanted her close enough that I could see for myself that she was okay. I remember one conversation so clearly now. I told her she could sleep in her old room, that nothing had changed, that home was still home. She went quiet for a moment, then said she appreciated it, but she had things under control. That silence before she answered haunts me. I didn't hear confidence. I heard hesitation. As the hours passed, my worry turned into something heavier. I started calling again, straight to voicemail. I left messages telling her not to worry about explaining anything, not to feel embarrassed or proud or stubborn. Just come. Just let me help. I told her families are meant to lean on each other, that there was no shame in needing a break. I don't know if she ever heard those words. I don't know if they would have mattered if she did. People like to say you can't force someone to leave a situation they're not ready to leave. I've thought about that sentence 1,000 times. Maybe it's true. Maybe love isn't always enough to pull someone back. But as a mother, logic doesn't quiet regret. Every time I chose patience over pressure, I wonder if I chose wrong. I replay our last normal conversation in my head. We talked about ordinary things, schedules, plans, the kids. Her voice sounded tired but steady. When we hung up, I sat there holding the phone, fighting the urge to call back and say everything I was afraid to say. I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to be wrong. So I stayed quiet. That silence feels unbearable now. If this story is weighing on you, if it's making you think about someone in your own life, take a second here. Like the video, share it, send it to someone you love. Sometimes hearing another family's pain is what finally gives us the courage to speak up. When the news started to break, it didn't feel real. Names, questions, confusion. I kept thinking there had been some mistake, that she would call any minute and laugh about the chaos. My heart refused to accept what my mind was beginning to understand. I remember standing there, listening, and feeling like the ground had shifted under my feet. Every unanswered call from before suddenly screamed at me. I thought about that last time I begged her to come home. How small my voice sounded. How quickly I let her reassure me. I wondered if she had wanted me to insist, to demand, to show up at her door and refuse to leave without her. Mothers are supposed to protect their children, even when they're grown. That thought cuts deeper than anything else. As the truth slowly emerged, so did the weight of all the things I didn't say. All the times I tried to be understanding instead of relentless. All the moments I chose to trust instead of intervene. I don't know which choice would have changed the ending. I only know that the question will follow me for the rest of my life. That day, as reality closed in, one thought echoed louder than all the others. If she had come home, even for a little while, would she still be here? And in that moment, I realized that a mother's begging doesn't always sound desperate enough to be heard. But it never stops echoing, long after it's too late. There are words you never think you'll have to write to your child. Sentences that feel unnatural the moment they leave your heart and reach the page. This is one of them. I write to you now, not because you can read this, but because I need you to know that my voice never stopped looking for you. Even when the world finally said your name out loud in ways I never wanted to hear, I was still calling you home in my mind. I think about you as a little girl, about the way you used to run toward me without hesitation, trusting that my arms would always be there. Somewhere along the way, life taught you to be strong on your own. I was so proud of that strength that I didn't see how heavy it had become for you to carry. If I could go back, I would tell you that strength doesn't mean staying when you're hurting. It means knowing when to come home. I'm sorry I didn't fight harder. I'm sorry I tried to be respectful when I should have been relentless. I thought love meant giving you space, trusting you to know what was best for yourself. I didn't understand that sometimes love needs to be louder, even if it risks being unwelcome. That truth is something I learned too late, and I will carry it for the rest of my life. I imagine you reading my messages, seeing my missed calls, knowing that I was there even if I couldn't reach you. I hope you felt it. I hope, in the quiet moments, you knew there was a place waiting for you where you didn't have to explain yourself or be brave. Just my daughter. Just safe. The world now knows your story, but they don't know you the way I do. They don't know your laugh or how deeply you loved, or how hard you tried to make everything work. They don't see the little girl I still see every time I close my eyes. They see headlines. I see birthdays, scraped knees, and bedtime prayers. If you've made it this far into the story, I ask you to sit with it for a moment. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it, not for numbers but so that voices like mine don't fade into silence. Because somewhere, another mother is whispering the same words I did, hoping they'll be heard in time. I think about the life you should still be living, the moments you were robbed of, the future I can only imagine now. And I wonder, over and over, if coming home would have changed everything. It's a question without an answer, but it lives inside me all the same. What I do know is this: my love for you didn't fail. It reached for you in every way it knew how. Even now, it reaches beyond time, beyond loss, beyond the silence that followed you. I will always be your mother, and you will always be my child. So this is me still begging even now. Come home in my dreams. Come home in my memories. Come home in the way your story reminds others to listen more closely, to speak more boldly, to never ignore that quiet voice that says something isn't right. I love you. I always have. I always will. And if love alone could have brought you back, you would have never left at all.